Yeah, we want to dive in our panel discussion. We just heard what David told us, that people are ready to travel again. You're president of the LGBT Chamber in Colombia, as Thomas just told us, but you're also president of the chair of the IGLTA Association, that's the International Gay and Lesbian Travel Association. So as chair of the IGLTA, you have an insight maybe of what do LGBT travelers who are members of IGLTA, what is their outlook and how do they recover from the pandemic?
Yes, so first, thank you for this opportunity and for inviting me to be here. From IGLTA, we have been very analytical about what just had happened for the last 2 years, Rika, and then we understood that it doesn't matter how shy the travel industry still was in different territories regarding LGBTQ plus tourism, or how deep conservative or even religious was your country or your government in place. A lot of people understood with this pandemic that discrimination is the worst business to do. And in that sense, a lot of different governments and private institutions or corporations are adapting their own plans to recover economically very fast. Therefore, LGBTQ plus segment is one of the most dynamic segments that finally is being prioritized in those recovery plans. Let me share a couple of concrete examples. We have been analyzing for over 2 years, running global surveys about how open is the LGBTQ plus segment to travel again and why they want to travel again. And reading those numbers, we have understood that there are a lot of countries already with concrete recovery plans. Let me just share some names. You have Canada, the US. In the Americas, you also have Mexico, Colombia, Uruguay. Here in Europe, you have Spain, Germany, of course, Belgium, the United Kingdom. Even in Asia, you have countries like Thailand that already understood that approaching this segment from a public and private analysis on how they behave and where we do travel is one of the key segments that is going to be prioritized for this year, 2022, and the years ahead. In terms of best practices, we have been able to understand that the pandemic also opened our eyes to what we call intersectionality. That means that we are going to see not only governments and corporations talking to gay men specifically, but we already understood that the spectrum of sexual diversity is actually wider, meaning that finally we see governments and corporations talking to women that happen to be sexually diverse, but also these other gender identity and sexual orientations expressions that we have, for example, today with the younger travelers that are identify themselves as queer, as non-binary, for the trans individuals that finally want to be included in the travel industry. Today, we are seeing finally proactivity from the hospitality industry, meaning the hotels, the hostels, the companies that are in that field, also from airlines, tour operators, and the entertainment industry that is always linked with the travel industry, saying, we are ready for you. We are open for business. If we understood that if we want to see those bookings rising up, those occupancy rates going bigger and getting more dollars and euros into their own budgets, this is one of the segments that is actually finally going to contribute in a concrete way to recover those business fast enough. So we remain hopeful, and we believe that the years to come are going to be quite dynamic, not only for a specific group of LGBTQ plus travelers, but actually to a broader spectrum of this dynamic segment.
Yeah, I mean, LGBT plus travelers have always been like spearheading developments. And as we also heard from David, it's they're all vaccinated. There is nobody saying, because traveling is so important. And yeah, but what about Colombia? Is there anything special you can share with us about your home country?
Of course I do, and this makes me feel very proud, as probably a few people from the audience knows. My country in South America is deeply conservative still, deeply Catholic, religious meaning, but even though we have a very far and progressive LGBT rights legislation, After Uruguay in Latin America, we are the second country that has pushed further the legislation for LGBT rights. In that sense, marriage equality, same-sex couple adoption, anti-discrimination law, legal framework to transit in your own ID, if you happen to be a transgender individual, helps to the tourists or the travelers abroad to send a strong message that our country is not only way safer these days, but actually is offering secure, discrimination-free travel experiences. What we did from the chamber, that is the entity that I lead, together with ProColombia, that is the national DMO of the country, we got together and put a plan that is targeting 4 main destinations within the country that happen to have the most professionalized offer of services, of tourism services for these travelers. As well as we identify the key markets we want to activate more the Colombia brand, being Germany one of those, for example, that we want you guys visit us more often with a very unique experience. Colombia is a great destination that is mixing a lot of different products in one place. It's a no-seasons country, meaning you can visit us year-round. And now the exchange rate between the peso and the euro or the dollars is quite competitive, especially for the people from Northern Hemisphere to travel to our country. Colombia understood that the pandemic was a period not to get closed, but actually to prepare. So we run massive trainings, a lot of preparation activities and courses in order to have the different businesses that were ready to come back on track to be ready to receive this travelers.
Also regarding LGBT?
Specifically on LGBT,
okay.
correct.
That's good news. Wonderful.
Very
Congratulations.
good. Yeah, very good.